A very good morning, children. Hope you all are keeping well. So let's continue our English online classes. In the last class, I had already completed one poem that was Animals from your first flight book. And today, I will be proceeding with the supplementary reader book, that is your Footprints Without Feet. Okay, and in that I had already taught you first two chapters, and now I will start the fifth chapter, and the name is also the same of the book as Footprints Without Feet. Yeah, the two chapters in between, chapter 3 and chapter 4, are deleted from your syllabus this year, so I will be continuing with chapter 5. As you know, this year your syllabus has been cut short in all the subjects, so here in this book these two chapters, chapter 3 and chapter 4, are deleted. So let's continue with chapter 5. So from the name itself, okay, definitely you might be thinking how it's possible that footprints can be there without feet, but it is possible, you know, because most of you are very interested in watching the horror movies and all, so you know how it's possible, isn't it? So let's come to the chapter and be with me, try to understand it thoroughly. It's interesting one. Before starting the chapter, little introduction is given over here, so let me read, and you know I will be reading the chapter paragraph wise and discussing the difficult words. I will be explaining it to you. Okay. Can a man become invisible? This is the story of a scientist who discovers how to make himself invisible. Does he use or misuse his discovery? So hope it's clear. It is asked to you, can a man become invisible? The answer is with you. And this story, what we are going to deal now, it is a story of a scientist actually, okay, and he discovers that how to make himself invisible. But let us know through this chapter whether he uses that discovery for the betterment or whether he misuses that and he creates some problem to the society. Okay, so coming to the chapter. The two boys started in surprise at the fresh muddy imprints of a pair of bare feet. What was a barefooted man doing on the steps of a house in the middle of London? And where was the man? As they gazed, a remarkable sight met their eyes. A fresh footmark appeared from nowhere. Further footprints followed, one after another, descending the steps and progressing down the street. The boys followed, fascinated, until the muddy impressions became fainter and fainter and at last disappeared altogether. So what we came to know, there were two boys, just they were as moving there in the street. Okay, so what they saw, they were surprised to see what? The fresh muddy imprints means the impressions of those foot, okay, that also were muddy one, of a pair of bare feet, you know, without shoes, isn't it? So bare feet impressions the two boys saw, then impressions were also seen as muddy. So they were just shocked to know that what was a man without shoes doing on the steps of a house. Means that man was now just moving on the steps of a house, that too in the middle of London. Okay, that house was situated somewhere in London, in a city. And where was the man? Only the footprints were visible, but no one was existing there in front of those two boys. So as they gazed means they looked very keenly. Okay, a very remarkable sight was seen by them. What? Again a fresh footmark appeared from nowhere. Means no person could be seen over there, but only the footmarks could be seen, that also the muddy impressions of those footmarks. Okay, now further the footprints goes on following one after the other, and it was descending the steps. Descending means it was coming down, okay, from the house, from upwards. That man was coming down, whoever was there, that invisible person, only the footsteps could be seen, and progressing down the street. Those footwears were now moving towards the street. Okay, means that footsteps were coming down from the steps and moving towards the street. So the two boys, they were very much fascinated, attracted. They just were curious to know. Okay, so they started following those footsteps until the muddy impressions, they became fainter. Fainter means not clear to see now. Okay, so they were going on following those footprints till those muddy impressions, those footprints, it got a little bit light. Okay, and after that it became unseen also. It got vanished altogether. It got vanished, both the footsteps, it couldn't be seen again. The explanation of the mystery was really simple enough. The bewildered boys had been following a scientist who had just discovered how to make the human body transparent. Griffin, the scientist, had carried out experiment after experiment to prove that the human body could become invisible. Finally, he swallowed certain rare drugs, and his body became as transparent as a sheet of glass, though it also remained as solid as glass. Now, what happened? This mystery, it was a mystery only, it was a secret, isn't it? So it was very simple secret only, that the bewildered means the confused one, puzzled. Both the boys, they were a little bit puzzled, okay, who were following that scientist, and they came to know that that person was a scientist who had discovered, okay, that how to make the human body transparent. Okay, transparent, you know very well, children. What is the antonym of transparent? Yeah, correct, opaque, isn't it? So transparent objects means that which transmits the lights, so that any bodies lying beyond are completely visible, isn't it? So what happens now? The confused boys who had been following a scientist had they came to know that he was a scientist, and he had discovered how to make the human body transparent, and that scientist's name was Griffin. Okay, he used to carry many experiments in the laboratory to prove that the human body could become invisible. Okay, and at last finally he got succeeded in that. And what he did, he swallowed certain rare drugs. Swallowed, you know, means directly allowed to pass down the throat without chewing. So he had what he had done, he had swallowed few drugs, very rare, very uncommon drugs he had taken, and his body became transparent like a sheet of glass. Okay, though it was a sheet of glass, but it was a solid, hard as glass. Okay, now brilliant scientist though he was, Griffin was rather a lawless person. His landlord disliked him and tried to eject him. In revenge, Griffin set fire to the house. To get away without being seen, he had to remove his clothes. Thus, it was that he became a homeless wanderer, without clothes, without money, and quite invisible, until he happened to step in some mud and left footprints as he walked. Now, what happens? Really, he was a brilliant scientist, okay, and what was the other negative point of that scientist? He was a lawless person. He never followed the laws and the norms. Okay, his landlord disliked him, hated him. Landlord means, you know, this person, he never owned his own house. He was staying in someone's house and he had to pay the rent for that. So the landlord in whose house he was staying, that person disliked him. He never liked him, hated him. and tried to eject him. Eject him means that person, the landlord, he wanted to turn him out of that house, that he should not further stay there. But in revenge, what Griffin did, he set fire to the house, okay, and to get away without being seen. Now he wanted to run away from there, and he wanted that no one should even recognize him, that who was that person. So what he did, he had to remove all his clothes, isn't it? And thus he became a homeless wanderer. Wanderer, one who has no house of their own, and they have to just move from one place to another. He was without clothes, without money, and now he was invisible also, until he happened to step in some mud and left the footprints as he walked. So whenever he used to walk, he used to just leave the muddy footprints on the way. Next para, children. He escaped easily enough from the boys who followed his footprints in London. But his adventures were by no means over. He had chosen a bad time of the year to wander about London without clothes. It was midwinter. The air was bitterly cold, and he could not do without clothes. Instead of walking about the streets, he decided to slip into a big London store for warmth. Now what happened to this great scientist? So now the two boys who were following him, okay, so he escaped from them who were following his footprints in the streets of London, okay. But now what happens? His adventures means he was doing all the risky things, all the risky jobs, okay. It never ended. The first thing what he did, he just set on the fire to the house of his landlord. And now what he did, he had chosen now really it was a bad time. He was not lucky enough for him. Why? Because now he was without anything, without money, without clothes, and wandering in the streets of London, isn't it? And it was the time of midwinter, okay. This time it's really very cold there. The air was bitterly cold, means great cold winds were blowing that time, okay. And he couldn't do without clothes. He was without clothes, but now he was really feeling so cold without clothes. And instead of walking about the streets, now he was even not able to walk over the streets, and he decided to get inside any of the store, okay, whichever store may be open, just to keep himself warm from that cold winter outside. Closing time arrived, and as soon as the doors were shut, Griffin was able to give himself the pleasure of clothing and feeding himself without regard to expense. He broke open boxes and wrappers and fitted himself out with warm clothes. Soon, with shoes, an overcoat, and a wide-brimmed hat, he became a fully dressed and visible person. In the kitchen of the restaurant, he found cold meat and coffee, and he followed up the meal with sweets and wine taken from the grocery store. Finally, he settled down to sleep on a pile of quilts. Okay. So now what happened? Closing time. There was the closing time of the store now, and as soon as the doors were shut, okay. So till that time, as soon as the doors of that store was going to shut, what Griffin did, he was able to give himself. Till that time, he had entered into a store, and now he had taken the clothes from there, and he started feeding himself, though he was not having any money, but he just wanted to eat, okay. So without any expenses, without spending money, he had got the clothes and he started to eat, okay. What he did, he broke open the boxes and wrappers, okay, and now he had broken the boxes kept in the store and the wrappers of those boxes, and fitted himself out with warm clothes, okay. He took out the warm clothes from inside the boxes. And he also took the shoes. He also wore an overcoat. Okay, and he also got one white brimmed, means edged, little white edged hat he was wearing. Now he was fully dressed and he was a visible person now. After getting in complete dress, now he was a visible one. Now he went to the restaurant, and where he found there, he found the cold meat and coffee. Now he enjoyed that. He followed up the meal with sweets and wine taken from the grocery store. He had already collected, okay, the sweets and the wine from that grocery store, and he was enjoying that in one of the restaurant. And then he settled down to sleep on a pile of quilts. Now there only, pile means the heap, okay, and quilt, to keep yourself warm. So you are using the quilt during the winter season. So he just slept on that heap of the quilts which were lying there in the store. If only Griffin had managed to wake up in good time, all might have been well. As it was, he did not wake up until the assistants were already arriving next morning. When he saw a couple of them approaching, he panicked and began to run. They naturally gave chase. In the end, he was able to escape only by quickly taking off his newly found clothes. So once more he found himself invisible but naked in the chill January air. See that fellow now, what he did, he just enjoyed everything inside the store. He was just inside the store only, isn't it? And it was the closing time, so the store was shut down. So he just took out the clothes and everything. He had good meal, and then he slept there itself on the pile of the quilts. Okay, but now what happened? The next morning he couldn't wake up in correct time. Okay, and it's before arrival of all the employees there in the store, he would have run away, but it was not possible. And now, as he didn't wake up, and all the assistants were already, they arrived the next morning. All the workers, assistants means what, all the workers who were there in the grocery store, they arrived the next morning. And when he saw them entering, the couple of them, 2 or 3, when he saw, what he started, when he saw that they were approaching means arriving towards him, he got panicked, means he got scared, and he began to run. They chased him. Okay, they started running after him to catch him, but in the end he was able to escape only by quickly taking off his newly found clothes. So what we came to know, children, you remember, when he wore the clothes, then only he became the visible one, isn't it? So what he did again, he had to take off, he had to remove his new clothes, and so once more he found himself invisible. Now again he got invisible, but now again he was naked without clothes in that chilled, very bitter cold in the month of January, where the cold winds were blowing. He had to move without clothes. Now what happens? This time he decided to try the stock of a theatrical company in the hope of finding not only clothes but also something that would hide the empty space above his shoulders. Shivering with cold, he hurried to Drury Lane, the center of the theatre world. Now what happened? As he had escaped from the store, now next where he entered, he decided to try the stock of a theatrical company. Okay, he entered where all the theatrical people used to work, theaters, okay, the actors and all the so he may get the another good dresses and all to wear. There are the stock of all those types of dresses lying over there. Okay, so he entered that theatrical company, so he may get only, not only the clothes, but something that would hide the empty space above his shoulders also. Okay, so in the theater where all the actors and actresses works, obviously There we can find different varieties of clothes. So he thought that he would not only he will find the clothes, but something he will get to hide even the space above his shoulders. Okay, so he was shivering with cold, and he entered to the Drury Lane, the center of the theatre world. He entered the place where there was the theatre company. Now what happened? He soon found a suitable shop. He made his way invisible upstairs and came out a little later wearing the bandages round his forehead, dark glasses, false nose, big bushy side whiskers, and a large hat. To escape without being seen, he callously attacked the shopkeeper from behind, after which he robbed him of all the money he could find. Okay, see now all his mischiefs, what he was going on doing one after the another. Okay, so what he did now, he soon found a shop there, okay, where he could find all the clothes to cover himself, isn't it? So he made his way invisible. So he was invisible, so anyhow he made his way to enter the shop. He went upstairs, okay, in that shop he went upstairs, and he came out a little later. He took little time wearing the bandages. What are the bandages? You know very well. If you get wounded, hurt, you used to bind it, isn't it? So he found the bandages and he just wore it round his forehead. Okay, and after that, see his appearance. He wore the dark glasses kept over there. He also put the false nose. Okay, false nose also he put, and he had big bushy side whiskers. Bushy means here thick, and whiskers means the hair on the cheeks. Okay, so he got that artificial one, the thick that beard like to wear on his face, and a large hat. This was his appearance when he entered the theatrical company. And to escape without being seen, he callously attacked the shopkeeper even. Callously means very cruelly. Okay, so he just wanted to escape, that he shouldn't be seen now. So he very cruelly attacked that shopkeeper from behind. Okay, from the back he attacked him, after which he robbed him of all the money he could find. Now he even robbed, he just took away the money of that shopkeeper and he ran away from that shop. Okay, now what happens? Eager to get away from crowded London, he took a train to the village of Iping, where he booked 2 rooms at the local inn. The arrival of a stranger at an inn in winter was in any case an unusual event. A stranger of such uncommon appearance set all tongues wagging. Mrs. Hall, the landlord's wife, made every effort to be friendly, but Griffin had no desire to talk and told her, "My reason for coming to Iping is a desire for solitude. I do not wish to be disturbed in my work. Besides, an accident has affected my face." Now what happens? Now he was getting so eager to get away from the London, because London was very crowded place, okay, where he was being caught. He could be caught any time. Okay, so what he did, he immediately took a train to the village of Iping. He just wanted to move to Iping, and in that place he had booked 2 rooms at one local inn, okay, one hotel, just a small one, little local hotel. And the arrival of a stranger at an inn, that he was a stranger only, okay, an unknown person, and the arrival of that stranger at an inn in winter was really an unusual event that time in that village where he reached. Unusual means it was really uncommon, something strange thing happened there. A stranger of such uncommon appearance, not only that the person arrived in a strange time, but also the appearance was also very uncommon, so strange he was looking. As we came to know what was his appearance, children, His forehead was full with bandages, and the dark glasses were there, and all. One false nose, and all we came to know, isn't it? So he was looking quite strange, and set all tongues wagging. Okay, so everyone, obviously they would talk that the tongue started speaking. Wagging means speaking. Everyone who were there, they started just speaking about the person, that how strange the person and how he came to this inn. Mrs. Hall, the landlord's wife, she made every effort to be friendly. Okay, now there in that inn, Mrs. Hall was present there, who was the landlord's wife. Okay, and she made every effort to be friendly with Griffin, but Griffin never wanted to talk to her, and even told her that his only reason for coming to Iping is a desire for solitude. What is solitude? That he wants loneliness. Okay, he told Mrs. Hall that he has no other reason to come here, but he wants to live in a loneliness, in calm way here. Okay, that's why he came to Iping. And what further he said, that he never want to get disturbed in his work. He will be doing very important work there. That's why he has booked 2 rooms over there in that hotel, and he should not be disturbed. And besides that, okay, an accident has affected my face. What else lie he said to that woman, that due to the accident his whole face was affected. It got just damaged likewise, and so he had to wear all the bandages. Okay, satisfied that her guest was an eccentric scientist, and in view of the fact that he had paid her in advance, Mrs. Hall was prepared to excuse his strange habits and irritable temper. But the stolen money did not last long, and presently Griffin had to admit that he had no more ready cash. He pretended, however, that he was expecting a check to arrive at any moment. Now, Mrs. Hall, anyhow, she was satisfied with that eccentric. Eccentric means who is deviating from the normal things, the extraordinary one. Okay, little bit who is quite deviated away from the normal things. So that type of scientist he found Griffin. She found Griffin, and in view of the fact that he had paid her in advance, and already Griffin had paid that woman, Mrs. Hall, the advance money. Okay, so Mrs. Hall was prepared to excuse his strange habits and irritable temper. So Mrs. Hall also, she didn't bother much. Okay, she also got fully prepared to excuse, just to let him do whatever strange habits he had. Okay, and also his irritable temper. He was having too much temper, means his mood quickly gets angry. Okay, temper means mood, and he got such a high temper that he gets angry very soon. Okay, so he had very strange habits, and also he was very highly tempered man. Still Mrs. Hall, she had to excuse that person. Okay, but now what happens? The stolen money, if you remember, he had stolen the cash from the shopkeeper, isn't it? But it did not last long, because he had paid just the rent of that place where he came now to Iping, and now he had to admit that he had no more cash with him. Now ready cash means he was not having cash in his hand to pay to Mrs. Hall. Okay, and he pretended. What he pretended now, however, that he was expecting a check to arrive at any moment. Just he was pretending. Okay, that though he don't have any cash in his hand, but he is going to receive a check very soon, and he will be paying all his due amount. Okay, shortly afterwards a curious episode occurred. Very early in the morning, a clergyman and his wife were awakened by noises in the study Creeping downstairs, they heard the chink of money being taken from the clergyman's desk. Without making any noise and with a poker grasped firmly in his hand, the clergyman flung open the door. Surrender. So now what happens? Another episode, another incident. Episode here is the incident took place just very soon. Okay. What incident took place now? It was the early morning time. Okay. And a clergyman here can be said as a priest, okay, who prays in the holy places. So a priest and his wife, they were awakened. They got awakened by the noises in their study room. Okay. So creeping means as if someone was crawling downstairs, going down the stairs. The noises were as if someone was crawling and moving downstairs. They heard the chink of money. Chink of money means the tinkling sound of the money being taken from the clergyman's desk. So from the clergyman's study room, okay, something, the noise was heard like that someone is crawling and moving downstairs, and the tinkling sound of the money could be heard, which was taken from that priest's desk in that room. So without making any noise, what he did, he hold a poker. Poker means a rod type, you can say, a rod. It was caught very strongly in his hand. Who had hold? The clergyman. Okay. When he heard the sound inside his house, so he took one rod and he hold it firmly in his hand, and he pushed the door of his room, and he asked the person to surrender. Means give up, whoever you are, just give up, okay, whatever you have, and leave. So children, let me stop till here, and we will continue the further in next class. So just go through it, recall it, and try to understand it in more better way. Until the next class, goodbye and have a good